Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, I thought the show flew by. It did not feel like it was a 2.5 hour show. It felt more like a 2 hour show, a normal, easy to watch Monday Night Raw. I don't know what Luke felt about it, but for me, it felt like, I wouldn't say like it was one of the better Raws, because it was still just a Raw with, it built some stuff up for pay-per-view this weekend and stuff, but like the pacing felt a little different, and it felt just like it flew by for me. It flew by. So overall, kudos for that one. But we also got Luke here with us. Gonna talk some stuff with Luke. So a little inside baseball. Luke and I usually talk before we go live and we chat and stuff, but I personally didn't ask him a couple things because I want to get his reaction on camera to some of the news that broke over the weekend. But Luke, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I've been working a lot of baseball games. For those of you who don't know, I am a camera operator for an independent baseball team where I'm from. And so I was working a game yesterday, and I know I told you this before we went live. So I was working a baseball game yesterday, and a lot of times during the game, when the inning's over, or half innings, like we do a lot of like promotion stuff on the field. So I'll have to unhook my camera, put it on my shoulder, then go on the field to film the promotion stuff that'll be put on the Jumbotron. So like I'll do that kind of stuff. And once the game was over, I was like taking apart my camera and going back like up to the control room or the press box. A little kid stops me and goes, "Can I have your autograph? I saw you on the field." So he handed me his baseball and a pen, and I was like, "Sure." So I signed it for him. I was like, that is a first as a camera guy.
Right. Someone's
asking me for my autograph.
Like, I've been recognized with the camera, but it's because people realize, oh, that's the PWU guy. Like when me and Nick were at StarCast in 2019, they saw me walking around with the camera and then Nick behind me, and they're like, oh, PWU. But yeah, no, not just random cameraman working for a team. That's weird, but cool all at the same time.
The kid was probably like 5 or 6. So, but still, I mean, PW Unlimited, I've only been recognized once as PW Unlimited.
I got recognized in my kid's school once. I'm like, that's weird, but okay. Hey,
the one place I was kind of shocked I didn't get recognized was WrestleCon.
Right.
I thought I was like, for sure I'm going to get recognized, but I was like, nope.
But hey, for all you know, that kid got your autograph, and now you've inspired him to want to be a cameraman.
I should have put "Reach for the Stars" on the baseball. But anyway, to talk about Raw, which, yeah, I agree with you. It did kind of flow by.
Yeah.
Like would you feel like it flew by in a bad way or flew by in a good way?
Like it was a very easy to watch show, which is a good thing. Like sometimes, especially these 3 hour SmackDowns, sometimes they just feel super long. Especially last week's SmackDown felt really long, but like usually like these shows are 2.5 hours, and I'm just like, all right, we're finally at the main event. Okay, cool. And then like the main event will be a good match a lot of times on Raw, fly by this, that, and whatnot. But it's like this whole show, we got to the main event, and I'm like, already? Oh, dang. Okay. So Fonzie says, this is a funny one real fast. Fonzie says, I went to the Dollar Tree this past Saturday, and I did find the Prime Hydration and energy drinks for $1.25. Yeah. So my Dollar Tree, we have like the food section, and at the end cap of one of the aisles, it's a full wall of Prime, which is weird because they're $1.25 there. Then you go to Walmart or Target, and they're over $2-3 for the same drink. Like what?
I don't think I've ever stepped foot in a Dollar Tree.
Really? I love Dollar Tree. You can get a lot of
Dollar Tree. There's Dollar Tree in my college town, but I just never really go.
Yeah, no. Dollar Tree's good. If you do a lot of arts and crafts stuff. And then for just like little things, if you need, especially for like, I mean, I don't want to say it too loud because I don't know if my daughter's still awake. Dollar Tree is the best place to go get stocking stuffers. Like stocking stuff for the little toys and candy to fill up stockings for Christmas. Dollar Tree's perfect for that. So,
art class my freshman year of college. Actually, it was a sculpting class, but I think the only time I ever went I went out to get like art stuff. I went to Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby can be overpriced sometimes. I will say that.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great either.
Right.
But
So
I mean, the paint I got, I mean, yeah, it was little bottles, but it lasted me the whole semester.
nice. So Luke, we had
What's
some
up?
news over the last 24 hours of 3 WWE superstars that are not being retained or renewed by WWE. We have learned of R-Truth, Ron Killings, Carlito, and Valhalla. I've already kind of given my impressions on all this over the last couple of days in videos I've done and whatnot. The Truth one, super shocking. The Carlito one, pretty shocking because he's involved in the Judgment Day stuff, and we thought there would eventually be a payoff with him and Raquel. And then the Valhalla one, where I'm not trying to be rude or hope this doesn't come off bad. It's like, okay, we had heard recently that they thought she was coming back soon. Like there was a report, maybe not even 2 weeks ago, that they were working on maybe integrating her back in with War Raiders. And then we hear, oh, they're not going to renew her contract. And it's like, okay, I get it. They released her once before. They brought her back and she really didn't do much. And so now she's done. And if you read the post that she put on Instagram, basically she's putting wrestling behind her. And that's what she did the first time, the last time she was released. She did nothing wrestling related. She got released and just went and lived on the farm. So unfortunate for that one. But it's like, Carlito, when did he find out? When did he find out he was released? Yesterday? Just like Truth and Valhalla? Because Carlito went down to Puerto Rico on Saturday and won a damn championship for his dad's promotion. Well, that's an interesting timing one. But then the Truth one. The Truth one's the big one. Because that has, we've seen reports from The Observer, Fightful, and PWU Insider. That has people, I don't want to use the word scared because no one's used that word, but shocked and shook backstage. I think it was PWU Insider had a report that said one person backstage told them, with Truth being let go, that means nothing in this company is a guarantee. Because everybody thought that Truth would be like Titus O'Neil. Once they felt like he was done in the ring, they're still going to keep him around as an ambassador and just a face for the company every so often. But to let Truth go, and we don't know, and here's the thing. This is what we don't know. We don't know what Truth was offered, or if they just said, oh, your contract's up in the middle of June, boom, you're done. We're done with you. We don't know if he was offered a producer role. We don't know if he was offered an ambassador role, a Legends deal. That has not come out yet. We don't know. Now, from the reports we've seen from like Fightful and stuff, it sounds like that may not have been a thing. But again, you have to weigh the caution of you don't want to say what you don't know. So what I'm saying is maybe they did offer Truth something that he didn't want, and he thought maybe they would come back with another counter to what he wanted, and they just said, never mind, we're done. I don't know. But their morale, I wouldn't say morale is down and not good, but people are not happy. People are upset, and people are a little scared because it's like if they'll let Truth go, then they'll basically almost let anybody go. And then like that Ron Cena shirt went on sale last Saturday for Saturday night's main event. By this Sunday, it was gone, done, taken down. Now, you can still get it on the Euro shop for some reason, which is weird. It's still available up there. But on main shop WWE, it's like gone. Less than a week. They had it up for pre-order. It was going to ship on July 11th, it said. And yeah, very, very interesting. But Luke, what is your take on these new releases from WWE, R-Truth, Carlito, and Valhalla?
The Valhalla one, I mean, it's not very too surprising because they haven't really used her. And yeah, she did have a kid, but I don't know. I mean, to me, it just seemed like they weren't really going to use her as much as just any more than just like someone with the War Raiders. I almost said Viking Raiders, but but anyway, I mean, that one didn't really surprise me too much. Carlito one, that one's pretty interesting because now it's like, how are the Judgment Day gonna do gonna write him off? Are they just gonna be like, well, yeah, you let?
I mean, not to cut you off, but as we saw tonight, it was just no mention of Carlito. Like he just wasn't there. Like they didn't say anything about him or not about him. It was just like whatever, which is weird.
Unless they do something like down the line, mentioning him, saying why he's gone or why he left.
I don't think they would. See, if WWE is not going to like that was like Mark Henry today did a whole thing going, there should be tributes to Truth all over this show tonight. If WWE called me and said, will you make a video a tribute to Truth, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I'm like, WWE's not re-signing a guy. They're not going to publicly put that out there. They're not going to highlight on their show, hey, this guy that everybody loves, we don't want him. We're not keeping him. They're not going to highlight that. So I feel like they're not going to do anything to say Truth is gone. They're not going to do anything to say Carlito's gone. It's just plain and simple. They're not going to highlight, oh, we let these guys go. Oh, we're not keeping them anymore. I loved Carlito. Did you read Carlito's tweet? What he said when?
Yeah.
Did you get?
It was about like money.
Did you get the joke? A lot of people didn't get the joke.
Yeah, see you in 13 years.
Well, no, the whole I might have to pay them back money joke.
Why? What happened?
So the joke is that, Carlito got re-signed. He's been around for 2 years since he got re-signed. Hasn't really done much, but just in the back of a lot of segments or at ringside with Judgment Day. The joke is that I stole money from this company because I got to get paid for 2 years to do almost nothing, which is not wrong. But that was the joke he was making, and a lot of people didn't get it. It was, I got paid. That's why he was like, I reviewed the footage on Netflix. A lot of times he's just in the background of those Clubhouse skits or playing the video game. Like, you getting paid to go to work and not have to do much. So that's what the joke was. Yeah, that's what the joke was. But there were some chants. Now, here's the thing. People online were going, oh my God, they're hijacking Raw. We want Truth chants. So there was a we want Truth chant before the show started. I was told by somebody there, it was like a group of 4 or 5 people. And then throughout the show, people kept going, oh, this whole crowd's chanting, we want Truth. Like, we heard it for the CM Punk segment and 1 or 2 times past that. But I was told it was small pockets. It wasn't like back in the day when we'd get a CM Punk chant from the entire crowd. There were a couple small pockets that did it a couple times. So, literally, my friend that was there goes, I bet you it was people just trying to think they were smart fans, and so they were going to try and get this chant started, and it didn't really work that way. So, we'll see how it does play out, but they didn't hijack the show. Like I saw, was it Ringside News? Show hijacked with fans outraged of the R-Truth. They're like, no, it was not hijacked. It was not hijacked at all. But also, I do want to send a shout out to Joaquin Wilde. Hopefully he's feeling okay. He did post that he is fine, but he got knocked out. So before Raw went on the air, they were filming a match for Speed with Joaquin Wilde and Alexis King. And apparently Joaquin Wilde got knocked out. I don't know exactly what happened in the match, but my friend that was there told me that they were just getting to their seats as that match was going on. And so they weren't paying too much attention. And then by the time they looked down at the ring, he was just laying there and they were checking on him and he was out for 3 minutes. So I don't know exactly what happened, but Joaquin Wilde did get knocked out. But he did send out a tweet stating that he's never been knocked out for reals before and he's doing okay. So kudos, or not kudos, but thank God that, he's okay. Because he was legit knocked out for many minutes, 3-4 minutes. And then they helped him to the back. So scary moment.
I forgot to talk about the R-Truth stuff, but
sorry about that. I cut you off and then let you go. Go for it.
But anyway, the R-Truth one, yeah, that was a pretty shocking one. And my biggest question is, what is he going to do next? Because, for all we know, maybe he could be like, you know what? Maybe I'm just done with wrestling. He wants to try other things because, he does make music as well.
He's got a country album coming out soon. So here's the thing. He released the first song from the album. It's a good song. I like the song. It ain't country. So I wonder what the rest of this album sounds like.
So yeah, or maybe he does independent stuff and he uses one of his songs as his theme song.
So he may still have the rights to his theme music from WWE because he created that and produced it. And I want to say used it once or twice in TNA before he left TNA to go back to WWE. But I think he may, unless he signed it over and WWE now owns it, he may have the rights to that song.
Another thing I kept seeing people post on Twitter. It was a segment of him back in the NWA saying, why the heck did the WWF or WWE, whatever the heck they're called, let me go?
I know. I know what you're talking about.
It was back in 2002.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why did they
I saw
terminate
that.
my contract?
Well, that's when I think he was trying to play it up as a heel in TNA as well. So it makes sense.
So a lot of people think like, oh, he's gonna do that exact same thing once he like comes back to wrestling or wherever he goes.
So I know there's a lot of interest from indies, like top indies want to use him. And then I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to TNA. TNA maybe brings him in for Slammiversary or something. They do have their they have their Against All Odds special this week. I don't know if he'd be free and clear by Friday. But I mean, Slammiversary in July. I would assume he can work that show.
Put him in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Oh, I would in a heartbeat. Next, like Bound for Glory time when they do it, for sure. I would 100% do it. I mean, first Black NWA champion. I think he was a 2-time NWA champion in TNA, tag team champion. So no, I would for sure put him in that TNA Hall of Fame, 100%. But
I mean, I don't know if he'll accept it, but or maybe they have someone else planned.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
I mean, he probably would, but again, it really just all depends if they have anyone else planned already.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know who else would be in the TNA Hall of Fame. Well, I don't know.
I think they've wanted AJ, but AJ has said that he doesn't want that kind of an honor until his in-ring is done.
What if they did like Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian?
That'd be a tough one because we'll see. Here's the thing. Daniels and Kazarian were not a team in TNA. They were a team in ROH and AEW. Yeah,
they were. They were bad influence in TNA.
But not like that much. Like, not that most people remember. I mean, I get what you're saying. Now thinking about it, yeah, they were bad influence, but like, I would... Christopher Daniels is more known as the fallen angel by himself in TNA than he was with Kazarian. But if they're gonna... I just don't see Tony allowing him to go do it because TNA's relationship with WWE right now. You know what I mean? For Daniels.
Who else? James Storm. I mean, that would be a good one.
That'd be a good one. Remember, you could just do beer money. WWE would let Robert Roode go over and do it.
Oh yeah, they
for sure
they would allow it, but
yeah, beer money. I mean, who else? I mean, they did
Motor City Machine Guns.
Again, that's another one where it's like, nah, wait till their careers are over.
Well, James Storm isn't his career technically over?
I mean, I don't know. When was his last match? James Storm.
I think he's like an actor or entrepreneur now.
Let's see. When was James Storm's last match? His last match was, come on, cage match load. I mean, he just worked a match 2.5 weeks ago. He's been working a match. He's been working like a match a month. He's staying active.
Jack Dawson says Sabu and RVD. Sabu would actually be a decent one.
Actually, that should just be it right there. Sabu in the TNA Hall of Fame. That should just be it right there. RVD. Do they usually do more than one? I think they do.
They've normally done one for a while. I think they did the broadcasting team, the old TNA broadcasting team, like a year or two ago when Don West passed away.
The one name I was thinking is Abyss, but he's already in. They've already done Abyss. But yeah, no, that's it. It's Sabu. It's got to be Sabu. Go Sabu. Uh-oh, we lose Luke. He froze. I think Luke froze. We'll give it a minute, see if he comes back. Oh, we lost Luke for a second. All right, we're going to go there. I don't need the Epic Game Store yet. Go there until we can get Luke back. I think he's going to try and refresh. We'll see what happens. But there we go.
All right, we're back. I think it was we just had a slight lag.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All good. But yeah,
anyway,
I think Sabu's the one that should on the TNA Hall of Fame this year. But truthfully, the TNA Hall of Fame just makes sense. Go for it.
I know they did the broadcasting team of Don West and that other guy one year, and they did another female.
Yeah, Don West and Mike Tenay. Was that the same year Gail Kim went in?
No.
No?
Gail Kim went in like 2016, I believe.
Were they doing the TNA Hall of Fame that far back?
Well, I know Sting was the first ever one.
Let's see. TNA Hall of Fame. I got it right here. Oh, damn. They've been doing it since 2012.
Yeah, Sting was the first one. Then it was Kurt Angle. Then after that, it was who was the referee? The old TNA referee?
Earl Hebner.
Yeah, they did Earl Hebner.
So
after Kurt.
Not to get too far off track here, but 2012 was Sting. 13 was Kurt. 15 was Jeff Jarrett and Earl Hebner. 16 was Gail Kim. 8, and then they didn't do one in 17. 18 was Abyss. They didn't
Didn't they do Team 3D though? 1 year?
No.
Bubba Ray and Devon?
Not according to the Wikipedia page. So they didn't do 2019. 2020 was Ken Shamrock, and The Rock actually inducted him, which was a weird thing. 2021 was Awesome Kong. 2022 was Raven. 2023 was Tracy Brooks. Oh, here we go. Okay, they have it broken up. That's why it was 2014 was Team 3D. They have it broken up into individuals and then groups on the Wikipedia. But 2023 was Tracy Brooks, and then 2024 was Rhino. So the year they did Tracy Brooks, they also did Don West and Mike Tenay, and then Team 3D was 2014. They were the only 2014.
I can see them doing Sabu.
Yeah, Sabu would make a lot of sense. Like, a lot.
Or what if they did both Sabu and RVD?
That's tough because they weren't really connected much when they were in TNA. So it's not like, I get it. They're connected throughout their careers elsewhere. But like within TNA, I felt like they didn't do much together, if I'm remembering correctly. Plus, it's like, give Sabu his flowers, let him, himself do this, that, whatnot, and then do already another year. I see Jack Dawson says the Hardys. It's another one where I would wait till their careers are over and they're done in ring. They're still way too active.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of another one.
Because I'm just looking and it's like all the ones that they've been doing now, like Rhino is still active, but not like I'm full time, I'm there every week, this, that. The Hardys are there at every show. Hardys tag champion. No, they lost the tag titles to the Nemeths. But
I almost said EC3, but he's still pretty active.
I wouldn't anyways. Like,
You wouldn't put EC3 in the TNA Hall of Fame?
I get why you would, but I don't know. I don't know.
EC3, he was pretty good in TNA. That was like his prime.
But then that's like saying, okay, now you got to put John Morrison in there because they were about equal in their careers in TNA.
I would say, I don't know if I go that far.
You know what I mean? For what they accomplished in their careers, especially being there around the same time, they were about equal. EC3 and Johnny Impact. But
or Eric Young, put Team Canada in there.
For some reason, I thought he already was, but it's because he didn't get inducted. He inducted Bob Ryder, who was one of the old like a co-founder of the company. I was like, I remember Eric Young giving some sort of Hall of Fame speech, but then I remembered he inducted Bob Ryder.
Yeah.
But anywho, as far as everything else does go, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by donating by hitting the donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, head over to YouTube, help us out over there, hit that subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos. That way you know we go live, and that way you know we post to the community tab. Also, hit the join button if you want to become a channel member and support the channel that way. You get a cool badge next to your name. You get emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat, and we teach you things. You learn how to make graphics just like we do within Photoshop and so forth. Right now, the latest ones we put up last week were our WWE Saturday Night's Main Event graphics. This week, I will be giving you guys our NXT Battleground graphics. So you will get at the $1 tier, you will get the tutorial. And then at the $5 tier, you will get the graphics package. And then next week, you will get our AEW Double or Nothing graphics. And then we'll just keep on going from there. The week after that, you'll get our Money in the Bank graphics. So that should all be fun. And hopefully you guys learn some stuff and have some good takeaways. As this is something that no other wrestling channel is giving. They're not teaching you things. They're not giving you something that you can actually go and end up making money off of. They're just giving you wrestling news and watch-alongs. But we're actually giving you something that you can actually go make some money off of. So there you go. A little bit of an investment can come back for you. Also, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store, buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you be supporting us at no extra cost. Remember that Fortnite Star Wars season ends at the end of the week. So if you haven't gotten into it yet, you might want to jump in now. But then also remember that means a new season is coming. And so a new battle pass. If you get the bucks to get the battle pass, use our code. Greatly appreciate it. Supports us. Doesn't cost you extra. But as far as Raw does go, and I don't know why it's not switching screens. There we go. Raw was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, literally 20 minutes from my house. I almost went, but then I said, I ain't spending that much to sit at the top. So never mind. You get a replay of the main event from last week's show. And we see stuff with Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and others walking into the building. They then show us some of the sights of Tulsa, which was weirdly, I guess you would say, quiet. Because usually when they're showing those aerial shots, Michael Cole's talking. But for some reason, he wasn't. So it was weird. Then they go to commentary. And they start talking about this bet that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee have over the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. So the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. If you live under a rock and don't know, the Indiana Pacers defeated the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And, well, they're going to the NBA Finals. Michael Cole had to wear a jersey tonight. Michael Cole, per their bet, had to wear a Pacers jersey during the entire broadcast because that was the bet. If his team won, Pat will dress up in a perfect three-piece suit. If Pat's team wins, Cole had to wear a tank top, a jersey. And that's what happened. So Michael Cole did wear a jersey here tonight. And then Pat played it up going, yep, my Indiana Pacers, you're going to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they're in Tulsa, which is a big Thunder city since it is only 2 hours from OKC. So that was kind of fun that they played off of. And I think Punk even made a Thunder reference as well, which then I made a joke about because he said, there's a storm rolling in and I'm hearing some thunder. And I go, oh, yeah, weather says we are getting a thunderstorm tonight. So Punk must have checked the weather. You follow basketball, Luke? I don't know if I've ever asked you that.
My older brother is a diehard Boston Celtics fan.
Gotcha.
And I am a Miami Heat fan.
Ooh.
And I have another older brother who is a somewhat of a Lakers fan.
There you go.
But he's not Lakers. I guess he's not really like a big Lakers fan now because he hates LeBron.
Yeah, that was my thing. When we got the LeBron, I was like, oh, now I got to root for LeBron. Oh, crap. A lot of Lakers fans were like that. Because it was always like, who's better, LeBron or Kobe? Lakers fans will always say Kobe. And then we got LeBron, and it's like, oh, crap. So.
Oh, he is a diehard Kobe fan, though. He really is. But he's now like, I'm not rooting for the Lakers if LeBron's on it.
What is he, Clippers fan now?
I don't think he really has a team now.
Gotcha. But
anyway, I do follow basketball. I actually went to a Miami Heat game against the Celtics back in March. So It was I mean, the Heat right now kind of suck anyway, but
I feel you. Lakers ain't all that great either.
At least you guys got Luka Doncic, though.
True.
I mean, we're kind of in no man's land. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like the finals this year, the only team I'm going to root for is the Pacers because I used to like OKC, but I just don't like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Why?
He gets too much hype for the media. Maybe a little. Yeah, he gets way too much hype for the media. And I feel like that's the reason why he got MVP.
I could see that. But like everywhere around here, it's all thunder, thunder, thunder. Like you go drive by the Buffalo Wild Wings and it's got a thing on the sign that says, watch all Thunder games here. They made the finals. And it's like, oh shit. I didn't realize how big of a deal Thunder was here because we're like 2 hours away. So I'm like, oh, they're probably not that big. Nope. They love their Thunder, even in Tulsa. So,
I mean, you guys, yeah. Well, OKC, I don't think they really had like an actual like professional sports team.
I want to say the Thunder is the only like pro sports team, like major league sports team in Oklahoma. If I'm thinking correctly. Like we got all the college teams.
The Thunder.
We got all the college teams, but we don't have a football team. We don't have a baseball team. Like, I don't like the Chiefs, but like Oklahoma, it's Kansas City Chiefs. Everywhere in Oklahoma. Kansas City. So, but yeah.
You're never going to see me root for Kansas City.
But no, not me. 49ers.
Fortunately, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan.
Oof.
Fun fact, we are the only NFL team in history to never make the playoffs back-to-back years.
Really? I did not know that.
That is a very depressing stat.
I thought there would have been more teams than just one.
We're the only NFL team to never make the playoffs back-to-back years.
That's crazy that that's the only team that's like, it's, wow. Crazy that there's only one team that's ever happened to. I thought it would have been more than one, but okay. Speaking of sports.
Even during the Cam Newton days.
Yeah, no, speaking of, like, getting off topic here for a second. Speaking of sports teams that suck right now, the Colorado Rockies, they are like 9-50. Holy shit, is that bad?
Historically bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a baseball team with that bad of a record. But anyways.
Yeah, we got to get back to Raw.
As far as Monday Night Raw does go, CM Punk made his way into the building to open up the show. He did make some references. The Oklahoma City Thunder. He said, we got some thunder rolling in and we're on pace for a storm or something like that. And we do have rain coming in tonight here. We actually have a little mini thunderstorm coming through Tulsa tonight around, it says it was hit around like midnight, 1 o'clock. So maybe Punk was not talking basketball and checking the weather. Anyways, I appreciate everyone's basketball fandom, but asked the fans to watch Raw and SmackDown instead of the finals if they're on the same day. Help us with our ratings is what he said. I think they moved on to the Money in the Bank qualifier later on tonight. And for all you, I'm going to say right now, all you damn people that kept saying I was dumb for thinking it was El Grande Americano, what now? I said it from the jump when this match got announced. Punk's going to get screwed. AJ's there to take the pin. It's going to be El Grande Americano. Chad Gable's working double matches. Anyways. What?
I hope they end this whole El Grande stuff at either Worlds Collide or SummerSlam.
Well, they can't at Worlds Collide because Money in the Bank, he's El Grande, and that's after Worlds Collide the same day. But what I kept saying was, you're putting El Grande in this to further his feud with Penta.
Or what they could do is, what if he gets exposed as El Grande at Worlds Collide? That Money in the Bank, he's like, no. Or hold on. So like he gets exposed at Worlds Collide, but that Money in the Bank, they're like, Chad, you didn't qualify. El Grande did.
But how does he get exposed at Worlds Collide when he's Chad Gable at Worlds Collide? It's Chad Gable versus Vikingo, not El Grande.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I get where you're coming from. That would have been funny and cool and a good way to do it. But it wouldn't work. If it was flipped, then yeah, but where were we? Punk said It's feeling like summer, and it's the summer of Punk. And it's time for me to be wearing some gold again. The two people were on the top of the mountain. One was Jey Uso, a friend. Punk wanted Jey to know that if he did fight him for the title, it was nothing personal. It would just be business. Punk then spoke about the other champion, John Cena. Tables have turned since Punk first got to WWE. Cena is now public enemy number one because he sold his soul to the, quote, all the fraud goof, referencing The Rock. Punk has always had Cena's number, beaten him multiple times in the past. And then he said, now I'm going to come after you again, you little bitch. I'm like, whoa, okay. Didn't expect that one. But speaking of tables really fast, Luke, you see the new table sponsor WWE got?
Slim Jim, yep.
Yep, whenever WWE pulls out a table now, whenever a wrestler pulls a table out from under the ring, we didn't see it tonight, but whenever a wrestler pulls a table out from under the ring going forward, there'll be a Slim Jim logo on that table. Holy crap. I love the marketing that they did with it in the press release. So Slim Jim's thing is snap into a Slim Jim. Well, the press release said snap into a Slim Jim table. At least they're keeping the branding. But Punk seemed to be done with everything he was gonna say when he was interrupted by Sami Zayn. Crowd chanted for Sami, and he appreciated it. Zayn was glad to hear Punk speak clearly about his goals of becoming world champion. Zayn had his own ambitions to become a champion, but, well, unfortunately, Money in the Bank was not his path because of Rollins and his crew. Zayn wanted to emphasize the importance of this match and told Punk that tonight was a must-win. Zayn knew that Punk was probably thinking about Rollins' crew, but he couldn't be distracted by that. Zayn and Jey would take care of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker later. Zayn warned that Rollins can't win. Because if he wins Money in the Bank, he'll probably win the title. And if he wins the title, he'll have too much power. It'll be all over. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? They're now doing the story of Rollins that Rollins was doing against Roman. Roman's the champion and has too much power over this company. Now they're doing that with fucking Seth. If Seth wins the title, he's going to have too much power over the company and it isn't good for anybody. Have they really just tried to slot Seth into the Roman slot? Is this new group just Bloodline 2.0? Like, really? It's really sounding like they're rehashing some things from the Roman 1,000 years of dominance, or 1,000 days of dominance. Because it's the same shit that Seth was saying about Roman. Go for it.
You know what I can honestly see this leading to?
What?
So War Games is going to be in San Diego.
In like 10 months, 9 months? That's a ways away.
Yeah. What if they have Seth, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and John Cena taking on CM Punk, Cody, Sammy, Jey, and Roman in a War Games match?
That wouldn't be bad. Like, that sounds like a fantastic lineup.
I don't know if it'll happen.
Right.
It'd be a fantastic lineup. And it at least gives Cena the recognition of he worked War Games.
Worked War Games, and you can set up his final match in that game, in that match too. You can set up, because that's November. So it'll be like end of November. You can then, from there, within that match, set up Cena's final opponent. Whether that's a Roman, whether that's a Punk.
You'd really have to take care of Cena in that match, though.
Oh, it'd be easy. It'd be easy. You can just stay in the corner or not do much. Like, a War Games match is easy to hide somebody in because so much is going on at once, especially if you come in late.
Plus, yeah, you just have him going last, probably.
Just like with Elimination Chamber. Come in late, and you don't have to do much. But I think
you do that. Do that for the. Would that technically be for the Raw side? Because it would basically just be built around Seth and his group.
Well, no, it would be.
You just throw Cena in there.
Well, no, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's now just there's a men's chamber or there's a men's the War Games and there's a women's War Games. I don't think it matters Raw SmackDown anymore because we've kind of seen.
I know the first 2 years. Sorry to cut you off, but like I know the first 2 years it was always like either Raw or SmackDown gets the men and the other one gets the women.
As we saw now recently, it's been like you would see like last year's was mainly a SmackDown, but then you had like 1 or 2 Raw people there. So it's like it still kind of is brand specific for whatever, but you integrate and go whatever. But Sammy said that he needed Punk to win Money in the Bank, that is. But he also wanted him to know that if he did win the world title, he would be coming after him and he would face him for that belt. And their conversation would be much different. Punk said, well, if I win the title, I look forward to you challenging me. Basically what he said. So I honestly think, and we saw it later with Karrion Kross, are they teasing a Sammy heel turn?
Oh, I don't want it. No.
Now here's my question. Here's my thing. Not question, but my thing. We've seen a heel Sami Zayn in WWE before, but he was never a serious heel. He always came off as like a goofy.
He was always the goof. He was a goof.
Like when you did the stuff with Cesaro and Nakamura and whatnot, he always felt like he was good. Sammy's never not good, but he felt a little goofy during at least his last couple little heel runs. And they never give Sammy a long heel run either, it feels like. But in the back, Roxanne Perez.
He was a heel for like a while though, because I remember they turned him heel in like 2018.
Oh, you're right, because
he
was heel going into him for a lot of the COVID stuff, huh?
No, he was a heel for a while.
Yeah,
like under Vince, he was a heel for a while.
Let me see. I could tell you right now. If you go to his cage match and just look at like his matches,
because he joined Kevin Owens, and then yeah, he was a heel for a while.
Let's see. Yeah, in 2020, he was working matches against like AJ and Jeff Hardy. Yeah, like when he won the IC title in that ladder match at Clash of Champions 2020, he beat AJ and Jeff Hardy. He was the heel in that match. Yeah, like here's another one. He was teaming up with Corbin and Ziggler against the Street Profits and the New Day. Excuse me. Yeah, and like him and Nakamura and Cesaro were heels, and so he did a lot of teaming with Cesaro. Yeah, you're right. He was a heel for longer than I remember. That last little run. But Roxanne Perez is in the back. She offers Liv Morgan help and assistance tonight. Morgan told her, you know what can help me is you staying out of my business. It's all good. She goes to walk off and she bumps into EO. And just like last week, she basically said, hey, I'm going to win Money in the Bank and I'm coming for your belt. I want my title back. This guy was just like, okay, but it ain't going to happen. Then we got a hype video for Stephanie Vacure, basically telling everybody who she is. She spoke in Spanish with English subtitles about her dream to be in WWE since she was, 10 years old. Package included pictures of her wrestling in Mexico. It made her look like a huge star. And this damn crowd in Tulsa actually knew who she was. A lot of times you see people come up from NXT, especially people that aren't in NXT long, and they get a okay reaction. Stephanie got a pretty good pop when she made her entrance tonight for this match. So that's a really good thing that they already see her on the main roster as a star. The crowd does, at least. We did have a Money in the Bank qualifier with Stephanie Vacure, Ivy Nile, and Liv Morgan. Vacure didn't waste no time going for her Devil's Kiss move, first doing it to Morgan. Vacure did it next to Nile, but Morgan broke it up with a drop kick. Morgan hit Vacure with the Three Amigos, hitting the final suplex on top of Nile. There's some counters and back and forth here a little bit. Nile hit both women at one point with double German suplex. There were some slight little pockets of we want truth chants early in this match, but not much. There was one sign that said, re-sign our truth or we riot.
Yeah.
But like people on Twitter were like, they're hijacking the show. I'm like, no, they're not. There were little pockets you can hear of truth chants, and it was literally in the show. By about the halfway point, I didn't hear another truth chant at all. Now, granted, I think they were chanting for truth after the show because CM Punk, there's a video online. We did repost it on PW Unlimited's Twitter. there's a video of Punk, and I'll read the quote what Punk said. I'm not going to play the video here. But Punk said, "How dare you chant for somebody that's not here?" When the crowd was chanting, "We want truth." Which is funny for Punk to say that because they chanted his name for over a decade while he wasn't there. But
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
After a commercial break, Niall hit a Tower of Doom powerbomb and got a 2 off of it. Morgan followed this up with a code breaker on both women off the ropes for a double 2 count. Morgan then hit Vicure with the Oblivion. Niall tried to steal the pin, and Morgan got back into the ring to break it up. One point, I don't know the name of the move, but do you know the name of the move that Stephanie does where she puts your head in her knees and then she like slams your face against the mat? I don't know the name of it, but it's the thing that
she's not the only person that did that. Other women have done that move in the past.
Right, but it's like becoming her thing. But the whole reason it's becoming her thing is because Booker T. Every time she does it, Booker's like, yeah. Well, Pat tried to play Booker, and it did not work. Pat, when she did it, I think she did it to Ivy. She was doing it, the knees hitting the mat and your face hitting the mat. And like, she did it like 5-6 times like she normally does. And for like 3 or 4 of them, Pat's like, devil's kiss. Thank you. It's like, and then he finally just stopped. He's like, yeah, this ain't working. You could tell. He's like, never mind. He tried to be, what's his name? He tried to be, Pat tried to be Booker for a minute, and yeah, no. But moving forward, now shoved Morgan into this was weird because they played it up like Ivy pushed Liv into the steps, but it looked more like Liv was trying to throw Ivy into the barricade and slipped and fell into the steps. But I guess they tried to play it off of as Ivy was getting thrown into the barricade, she grabbed Liv and knocked her into the I don't know. This looked weird. But Vicure then hit Nia with the SVB in the ring and pinned her to qualify for Money in the Bank. So Liv does not make it into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, possible spoiler here. According to a report from Fightful, Liv and Dom might appear at Worlds Collide. They're not set for a match, but they might appear on the show. But what do you think of this qualifier and Stephanie being the final woman in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Not bad. I'm really curious to see who actually wins the women's ladder match. I think it's going to be Roxanne. Honestly.
You think? Oh.
There could be some storyline to it. Maybe Liv gets jealous at Roxanne because she was in the ladder match and she got the briefcase.
Maybe. That would actually be, I like that. I didn't think about it like that with the Liv dynamic of Liv didn't even make it. Okay. Nope. Yep. You're right there. I like that. I like that a lot. But I thought these 3 women worked very well together. Great match. So Paul,
yeah, but honestly, I could have seen Liv making it, but I feel like it kind of like hurts her. Do you feel like it hurts her a little bit?
What, not being in Money in the Bank?
Well, she's been kind of on a losing streak a little bit.
They still got the tag titles. They're fine. She's good.
I mean, well, she also does have that popular fan base, and she's really popular to where it's like, if you beat her, it shouldn't affect her that much.
Exactly.
But I don't know. Do you feel like it's a little too early for Stephanie Vicure to get in this type of push, though?
No. All 3 women that just came up from NXT are all in Money in the Bank. So it's like Julia, Roxanne, Stephanie. They're all in it. I think it's fine. Give some fresh blood in these matches. So, in an interesting segment backstage, Paul Heyman approaches AJ Styles, wishes him a happy 48th birthday. Heyman spoke while trying to convince AJ, hey, you don't need to win Money in the Bank. Get in Money in the Bank and then let Seth win. Because I see you as someone who should be going after Dominic Mysterio in the IC title. So go challenge him. Make Money in the Bank, of course, but then help Seth and let Seth win. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. That's an interesting thing. Styles then asked Heyman, you exhausted? Are you tired, Paul? You look like you're tired. You're chasing your next meal ticket. Styles did plan on going to Money in the Bank and did plan on eventually challenging Dom for the IC title. And I'm like, are you going to cash in Money in the Bank on the IC title? I mean, we've seen it before with the secondary belt. But anyways, and he said that I don't like threats. And I think you're threatening me, Paul. If they tried to push him out, he'd push back, he said. Styles knew Rollins' plan. Everybody had a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So, yeah, doesn't really matter because like they're doing this whole segment, and I'm sitting here going, AJ's gonna get pinned later. I could just see it, and he did. AJ's the one that took the pinfall in that qualifier. So then I think go for it.
Makes sense. I mean, AJ, he's 48. He's kind of like the vet where it's like, yeah, if you beat him, it's not really gonna affect him that much, and I don't think they're probably gonna use him like that for a while. Like, oh, we need someone to put on a good match. They're not gonna win it because it's not really gonna hurt them that much. Let's do AJ. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
No, I totally agree. So I want to respond to this in the chat really fast. John Day Iconic says, WTF, Miz unfollow WWE and his contract is up at the end of July. Yes and no. Miz did unfollow WWE. I don't know why. He unfollowed them on Twitter. I don't know why. But his contract is not up in July. Miz's contract is through the end of the year. Unless something changed. The last news that I got on Miz's contract, and I can go double check this, end of the year. I could double check it. I have my resource right here. Contracts. Miz. Miz's current contract with WWE runs through 2025, which means his contract is up the end, would be up like at the end of the year. So, yeah, Miz's contract is not up in July. I did, and I can't say the name because I haven't had it double confirmed yet to me, but I did hear of somebody that TKO may have had on a cut list that Triple H does not want to cut. Just saying. So I don't know if you saw this, but it was during a break. I watch international Netflix, so I get this. Did you see the Chad Gable promo?
Did not know.
Okay, yeah. So this was during the break. He basically said, he's trying to get heat. So he said he's rooting for the Pacers to beat the Thunder. He's also rooting for El Grande Americano to come out victorious tonight and make it to Money in the Bank. And he will also be victorious on Saturday when he beats Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. Also, speaking of Vikingo and then that AAA's Worlds Collide show, Michael Cole was having just the hardest time with all these names trying to go over the card for a Worlds Collide later in the show. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. Well, to be fair, these are some pretty hard names, okay?
I mean, not really. He called them...
Well, they probably didn't let him practice. They probably just said, hey, say this, go.
He called him Vakino instead of Vikingo or Vikingo, however you want to say it. He called him Vakino.
Okay, that's a little unacceptable, but...
Right?
But I would say the other names, they probably a little difficult, wouldn't you say?
Hold on, there was one that he like didn't butcher, but like, you could tell he was trying to like read it. Oh, where he goes, El Hio Day, Dr. Wagner Jr. Like he said it just like that too. He's like El Hio Day, Dr. Wagner Jr. I'm like, oh God. And then for some reason, him and Pat got on a thing about who was it? Oh, it was we love Mr. Iguana. That's what it was. Mr. Iguana, that's our guy. I'm like, do you even know who Mr. Iguana is? Like, this guy is so new, he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Anyways, Chad Gable came out, like I said, cut promo, talked bad about the Thunder, which worked, pissed off the crowd. There you go. Then we got a Rusev video. He said he's got history with Sheamus, and he didn't appreciate Sheamus coming out last week to help a stranger against a friend. Sheamus, he said that Sheamus didn't help him all those years ago. Sheamus had a body of granite, but a neck of sand. And Rusev is going to put him in the accolade and snap that neck. Rusev warned Sheamus to stay out of his way or he'll snap his neck. And I go, I thought the accolade or the Cobra Clutch move was supposed to be like a thing that hurts your back. I never thought of a wrestler pushing it as, I'm going to hurt your neck, but I guess it works. Then we see Sheamus backstage with Alpha Academy and Natalia. No Otis, though, which is very interesting. We had Akira Tozawa. We had Maxine. We had Natty. But no Otis. Kind of scared me a little bit with what's been going on last 24 hours. But anyways, he just said, hey, Tozawa, keep your head up. You went out there and you fought a guy twice your size. It wasn't fair, but you didn't back down. Not many people would do that. He's like, but you guys have shown me a lot. Natty, Maxine, I think you guys would make a great tag team. Go out there and prove yourselves. And Natty's like, I appreciate that. I really do, Sheamus. Thank you. And I'm like, wow, this segment kind of sucked, but whatever. Kathy Kelly then approaches Sheamus and says, we just got some word from Rusev. You have anything you want to respond to what he said? And I'm like, first off, Sheamus probably didn't even hear it, but whatever. Sheamus is like, Rusev and I go way back. He was a groomsman at my wedding. So Rusev's WWE career imploded because he had some bad decisions. He goes, and his career outside of this company, well, it lasted just as long as a Rusev day, 24 hours. Sheamus then called Rusev a bully. And he says, you know what that means? You know what I do? I bully bullies. Then he sent out a tweet like a minute later that said, I bully bullies. What do you think?
Funny.
What do you think of Sheamus Rusev feud?
Former League of Nations.
Yep.
I mean, not bad for Rusev, first rivalry back.
You think they should do whatever their match is on a pay-per-view so Wade Barrett can be on commentary?
Which pay-per-view would you do that for?
I don't know.
Saturday night's main event?
You got a Saturday night's main event. You got a Night of Champions coming up in Saudi. You got SummerSlam.
I feel like SummerSlam would probably be too long, though.
Vote on the Saudi show. Because I don't think...
You could, yeah.
Does Pat go to the Saudi? I don't think Pat goes to the Saudi shows, does he?
No, he don't.
So it would be Cole and Barrett on commentary. There you go.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Barrett would be there anyways. They've been doing the 3-man booths with him. But yeah, no. I think that would work. Because it would be interesting for have Barrett on commentary since he was part of that League of Nations as well.
Yep.
So that'd be an interesting wrinkle there. Because he was there for some of their past. But go to another break. And it's like, damn, we've gone like 45 minutes with no wrestling. Crazy. And then we get a good tag match. It was the War Raiders versus Judgment Day. There were slight, again, R-Truth chants early on, but they fizzled out and died out pretty quickly. And then this crowd just started hating on New Day. And I love when this happens because this is like the third time it's happened. New Day sitting on commentary and the crowd's just chanting New Day sucks. And every time Woods is just like, yep, they might be chanting what they're chanting, but they love us. We're not even in this match and they're worried about us. They're concerned more about us. So that's why we're the best. So New Day was on commentary and they had a good little tag match here. Not much to it. It was 11 minutes long. And they fight for about a minute or two. We go to a break. We come back in Judgment Day. We're with the advantage. Then we're fighting on the outside. I think it was JD got thrown into the New Day. New Day get all pissed off. And so they look like they were going to interfere. So they get kicked out. They get thrown away. Ivar then set up for a moonsault. But Roxanne Perez distracted the referee here. McDonough rammed Ivar by his beard into the post. So he grabbed him by the beard and shoved him into the post, knocking him down. Balor then hit a coup de grace and pinned him to pick up the victory. So there we go. Judgment Day defeating the War Raiders. What did you think of the match?
It was a good match. It was kind of just there, but it was just a good match to have on the show. That's all I can really say about it.
So then we got a segment here that the crowd completely turned to dog shit. It was Becky and Lyra, and this crowd was more worried about when can we say what than anything. Like they weren't even, like Lyra wasn't even doing the normal like cadence for a what chant. It was like every time she tried to make a pause, they tried to throw a what chant in there. Like everybody in this building. And it really sucked for Lyra because you could tell it threw her off once, maybe twice. And it was weird. It was weird the way this crowd was chanting what at her. So there was a Becky video promo. She said that she's only been back for about 6 months. And I'm like, no, you haven't. You've been back for about 3 months. But anyways. And Lyra has cost her tag titles and her chance at Money in the Bank. Yet, Valkyria accused her of taking away others' opportunities. Valkyria was an echo chamber for the ignorant who did not understand the greatness. Valkyria then came out. Valkyria has never forgotten everything Lynch did for her. Valkyria was in a lose-lose situation in Money in the Bank. Even if Valkyria won, Lynch wouldn't face her again. But Lynch was the best thing that ever happened to her. Lynch got the best out of her. She got her biggest wins against Becky. Lynch would win, and Valkyria would raise her hand. The same thing that she would not want to do. And like the whole time she's talking, and she's doing well. She's cutting a good promo. The crowd's just, what? Every time she takes a pause, what? Every time she takes a pause, what? And like even like it sounded like she was going to pause, so they tried to throw a what chant in there, but she was really just taking a quick breath. It was, yeah, very weird the way they were just trying to what chant her the whole time. I don't understand it. Any thoughts?
There were a lot of what chants during the women's segments tonight.
Exactly, yeah. Very weird.
Like I seen it on Twitter, people were saying that, and like I don't know what it was. Like
so during a break, New Day advised Grayson Waller to drop Austin Theory. Basically said you don't need him. Drop him like we dropped Big E. He's a dead weight. American Made then confronted the New Day. They were pissed off about New Day turning on them from their match last week. Creeds thought New Day said that brothers stick together. Kofi said that they misheard them. And he said, brothers stick together. And I laughed so hard when he did that. He's like, no, we said brothers. And he like points at him in Woods. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like perfect. Xavier Woods suggested American Made help them though. And Julia said they're coming after him instead. Yeah, that popped me when he's like, I thought you said brothers stick together. And Kofi's like, nope, you misunderstood. You misheard us. Brothers stick together. Scott Kelly interviewed Stephanie Vakir backstage. Vakir said that she felt great and continued to respond in Spanish, but then was quickly interrupted by Rhea Ripley. There were cordial and they shook hands. Ripley said that she would see her on Saturday. The best woman win. So then commentary talked about the Tyrese Halliburton shirt that is up right now on WWE Shops through Fanatics. Basically his choke shirt.
Basically kind of like the Reggie Miller choke.
Yeah, and it was so great because Reggie Miller was on the call too. So Reggie Miller, I feel like sometimes doesn't get his due as far as like how great of a player he was. Like he does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it's like sometimes you forget about Reggie Miller and like he's just not talked about.
Can I say why?
Go for it.
It's because Reggie Miller is not in the NBA 2K games.
Really?
He's not. Him and Charles Barkley are both not.
I've never realized that. I guess I don't play with non-current teams. You know what I mean?
So I know Charles Barkley, the reason why he's not is because like he wants like 2K to be paying like these like older guys, like guys who are older than him, like $1 million per person to like be in the game, because he says the guys who are older than him, like they get paid like chump change to just be in the game, and 2K makes all his money off of these older guys being in the game.
So Reggie Miller said the same thing. I'm reading a quote here. It says Reggie Miller is not currently in WWE 2K games.
No, it's NBA 2K.
Well, yeah, NBA 2K games. He has previously stated that he does not want to be in the game unless retired players are fairly compensated for their likeness. So it's basically the same thing, yeah. It says he was featured in older versions of the game, like NBA 2K6, but has not been in many recent iterations. I never realized that. It could be a thing.
Yeah,
okay.
so like a lot of the younger guys, or like today's generation, kind of forgets about him a little bit of his likeness because he's not in 2K.
You know, like back in the day, two of my favorite players were Derek Fisher and Reggie Miller because of their.
Derek Fisher.
Well, he was a Laker. but it was because the way they can just post up at the 3-point line and just grab that ball and shoot. They're quick shot threes. I always thought it was so cool. They're quick shot threes. Both of them had it. And of course, I watched a lot of Derek Fisher because he was a Laker, but.
I mean, to be fair, back then when I was like little, when there's the Miami Heat big three, I was a big Mario Chalmers fan.
Oh, damn. You don't hear that name ever.
Great college basketball player, though. I think he won the NCAA championship on a buzzer beater.
Huh. I haven't heard that name in so long.
No, he beat Derrick Rose's team, Memphis, in a buzzer beater.
Interesting.
Mario Chalmers, there's Norris Cole as well. I don't know if you know that name.
Sounds familiar, but not. I couldn't put a face to it.
Well, Birdman, Chris Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think who else.
Everyone knows a Birdman. But yeah, no.
Shane Battier.
I don't know if I know that name.
He was much better on the Rockets, but he was a key role player in that Miami Heat big three.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, Derek Fisher was just someone I liked. We had him twice on the Lakers from like, what was it, 96 to 04. And then he came back, was it 07 to 12 or something like that, 13. But it was just, I loved how I loved how like Derek Fisher would run up to that 3-point line. Kobe would pass him that ball quick and he would just grab it and throw. And boom, 3. Many big buzzer beaters from the 3-point line for Derek Fisher on the Lakers. And then he finished his career in OKC for a year and it was like, meh. He went to like OKC, then Dallas, and then back to OKC after his last stint with the Lakers.
He was just old by that point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was also a big Joker Noah guy as well when he was on the Bulls.
Oh, very nice.
Like I honestly liked him better than Derrick Rose, I think.
I can see it. Derrick Rose.
Because remember, like he was like, I think in 2015 or like 2014 when Derrick Rose was hurt, he was like their best.
Yes.
He was the best guy, and he was like 4th in MVP voting one year.
I mean, I'll just say it. Derrick Rose, great player, but I think he was a little too overhyped.
A little bit.
So, but yeah, no, they got a new Tyrese Halliburton shirt. Kind of looks like the way the art is, and I don't think you guys can really tell from here. It's like the design of the shirt looks like the Funko or the Foco. Like I'll describe one really fast. The bobbleheads that WWE sells. So like the art style is like this same kind of art style for the Halliburton shirt.
Oh, there's a Cody Rhodes bobblehead like that on Amazon. Do you know how much they charge on Amazon for those bobbleheads?
How much?
Like $200.
Or are they from Foco?
I don't know.
I think that's the normal price.
What, for a bobblehead?
These Foco ones. So there's
a Roman and Cody one from WrestleMania 39, and that's like $260.
But most of them, like the single, like there's a Cody one here from this year's Mania, $105.
That much for a bobblehead?
These are freaking like heavy duty, like heavy. Like these are not no cheap plastic bobbleheads, I'll tell you that. But I got this one. So I got this one. I got a Ronda and I got a Ric Flair. And so Ric Flair's in the purple robe. And my kid's sister was in my room the other day and playing with it. And she goes, "Oh, is this a girl?" Because he was wearing all purple. Like she thought it was a purple dress. I thought that was funny. But yeah, like they have one here of Paul Bearer holding up the urn and Undertaker on his knees. That one's $150. Sold out. So
still $100 for a bobblehead, really?
Well, the ones
I don't know if I'd pay that.
So the ones that are just the figure on a small little circle are like 50 to 60. But the ones on like the big stage like this and you gotta screw it in and everything, these ones are the $100 ones. I don't know. They sponsored the channel one year and sent me these. And they also we also had an AJ Styles one we gave away as well. But There was a Penta video package hyping up his involvement in Money in the Bank. And then, speaking of Money in the Bank, Jey Uso's going to have a match of Money in the Bank, but he had to work tonight first. Teamed up with Sami Zayn to take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So the match starts off, and about 90 seconds in, we go to a break. The heels worked over Zayn until he hit Reed with a tornado DDT. Jay made the tag and ran wild on both Braun and Bronson. He hit Braun with a gut buster. That's a hard one when you're trying to recap these. Braun and Bronson. Braun. Like, names are too similar. That's the one.
Did you listen to their like theme music? It was a mashup of both their themes.
No, I didn't pay attention. At least that was the one thing that Vince wouldn't have. No one can have similar names. Like if we already got a Braun, we ain't gonna have no one with a close enough name to Braun Bronson. Granted, we had Braun Breaker and Braun Strowman, but for the most part, it was like Vince did not want people having too similar names. Anyways, Braun went for a super spear. Jay caught him with a super kick for a near fall. Jay then put Braun in a sleeper, but Reed broke it up with a senton. Zayn went after Reed and tried hitting both men with a dive, but they caught him. Jay then wiped out everybody with a suicide dive. Seth Rollins then ran down, gave Jay a curb stomp, DQ, match is over. Ah, damn. After the match, Braun placed Zayn on the announce table. Looked like he was going to go for a big... this fucker, he starts climbing to the top rope. I'm like, there's no way. Like, this guy can fly. We've seen it. There's no way he can go from the top rope to the announce table. No. And then Punk comes out, makes a save, attacks Braun. So he attacks Braun Breaker with the chair, hits him in the back, right? Bronson Reed then comes down off the top rope, and Punk literally takes the chair and throws it in his face before Reed can even get his hands up to block it. This dumbass. Punk then goes after Seth. Seth bails. Braun was fuming over Punk. But Rollins settled him down and said that they knew exactly where Punk would be later tonight. Punk, Zayn, and JL stood tall as Punk's music played. Crowd was hot for all of this. Even the non-finish. Well, they kind of booed at the DQ, but then as soon as Punk came out and when they thought Bronson Reed was going to do a super tsunami, they were like, holy shit. And then Punk came out and yeah. They were like up and down for it. What did you think of it?
I mean, these two are going to be a scary team, though, like down the line.
Yeah. Fuck it. Give them the tag titles. Then we'll beat
Booker. I want Booker T to like commentate their matches.
Let them beat the New Day. I don't care if it's heel versus heel.
Booker T would probably be like, let me tell you, dog, when these two boys lock up, the earth don't rotate. It recoils. No bread, no water, no salad, no sides, just meat.
Oh, Lord.
He would always do that every time Braun Breaker was in NXT.
Oh, yeah. No, he loved commentating Braun Breaker matches. You could tell.
This is one big boy. No bread, no water, just meat.
So Liv Morgan joined Judgment Day in the back. Again, no signs, no mention of Carlito, no nothing. Now, there was one mention of Carlito on the show. Liv usually has the name of the Judgment Day, each written on her boot. Like she has all the Judgment Day members and their names written on her boot. Still had Carlito's name on her boot. Like people on Twitter are trying to post like that was something new. It's not new.
But she never had Carlito's name on the boot?
No, she did. That's what I'm saying. People on Twitter thought this was a new thing and it wasn't. It was like, I could pull up an older photo of Liv. Let me see.
People probably just didn't notice it till now.
Yeah, no one's noticed it before. Let me see something really fast. Whoops. Let me see. Yeah, because like it says Carlito, JD. So it says, I don't know if I can get this. If I can zoom in enough to see. No, it's not going to work. Wait, I could probably do it this way. No, never mind. I'm not getting it. If for some reason it's not wanting to show right. Anyways, yeah, she had Carlito's name, JD. I think it says on one shoe it says, so on one boot it says Finn, Dom, Street. The other one says Carlito, JD, Trash. You know, because they call themselves Street Trash. So,
yeah.
And I don't think that's something new. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on her boots before. Yeah. So it says Carlito. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to find. Yep, here we go. This was from, when was this from? Before she took her, this is from April, this photo. I'll pull this up really fast. If I can get it to go. Here we go. This photo's from April. You see totally right there. It says Carlito. So it was nothing new. But people on social media tonight thought it was something new, but it's not. She's had that on her boots for a while. Whenever she wears the black boots. She has the red boots. I don't think it's on there. But when she wears the black boots, it is. Because it says Raquel Finn on the other one. Carlito JD on this one. And this is Street Trash. And then she always wears the Dirty Dom. She would wear like the Dirty Dom shirt and stuff. So, yeah. Not something new. Dom was wearing a Carlito shirt, though. But,
I'm sure they'll probably get rid of it in a week or two.
What, the Carlito shirt? Or the boots?
Well, they'll probably just get rid of Carlito's name, though.
Oh, on the boots? Yeah, probably. Eventually. I don't know. Because it's not like super noticeable, but people noticed it. So I don't know. I don't think. Let me see. I lost the chat here for a second. Give me 1 second, chat. For some reason, the chat just disappeared on my screen. There we go. Okay. Anyways, Morgan joins Judgment Day in the back. She told Balor that she knew what he was trying to do by bringing in Roxanne. Balor played it innocent and goes, "No, what are you talking about? Hey, she helped me and JD win tonight." Balor knew Perez was coming on strong by giving Dom chicken nuggets and a back rub, shoulder rub. And she said, "Trust me, there's nothing to it. Maybe I tell her to calm down a little bit, but that's about it." Balor said, "Trust in Perez, because it'll all come." He suggested that Perez join them at ringside for Raquel's match later tonight. Morgan said Balor could babysit Perez and want her to stay out of things. Morgan then said, "Raquel, let's go." Again, like I said, Dom was wearing a Carlito shirt. Apologized to Balor for costing him the match last week. He's like, "Hey, I want to apologize, the chair thing and the throwing in and this and that." And then Finn's like, "Hey, water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. We're all good." So there's some dissension within the Judgment Day. Seems like Finn doesn't like Liv trying to run things. And we'll see where it all eventually does lead to. Any thoughts?
It's going to be interesting. Say that.
Yeah. So next up, we have Raquel Rodriguez against Kairi Sane. Now, I'm not sure what this is goddamn leading to with Kairi beating both tag champions. Is it just going to be Kairi and Io challenging them? Or is Kairi like, "I beat both tag champions. I want a shot at the title." And then Liv go, who's your partner? The champion? And then she goes, "No." And Asuka returns soon. And then Asuka and Kairi challenge for the women's tag titles. Because Kairi's beat both tag champions. I haven't heard anything on when Asuka could return, but that would make a little bit of sense. Or it's just her and Io challenging. I don't know.
I got no clue. I don't even know when Asuka's going to return, honestly. Apparently she's clear, but they're waiting for her to come in at the right time.
That I haven't heard.
Actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what I've been told.
The last I read, what the fuck is this? I just got a text message in all Japanese. I'm not responding to that fake text.
Yeah, I would not respond to that.
That was weird. Anyways. Yeah, last I heard was she's not really that close. I think this was a Fightful report. She's not really that close to returning, but they've been talking about plans for her since the start of the year. So I don't know. But as far as this match does go, it went like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. There wasn't much to it. Sane went to the top, but Morgan jumped up on the apron to distract her. Io then ran out to her music to take out Liv. Zayn then drove Rodriguez into the ring post and followed this up with an insane elbow and pinned her to pick up the victory. So Kyrie does beat Raquel, and it looked like Kyrie landed hard with that elbow right in the sternum of Raquel. Like she came down hard and fast with the point of that elbow. But yeah, just more of Kyrie's beaten both tag champs now, which makes me think. Now there's another way they can go. If it's not Asuka, it can be Io, and maybe Liv and Raquel retain with Liv pinning Io, which then sets up Liv getting the world title shot. You can go that route as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Ooh. So I liked your idea earlier of Roxanne wins Money in the Bank after Liv couldn't even qualify. What if Roxanne wins Money in the Bank, Liv then becomes champion off of beating Io? And then they do the tease of, is Roxanne going to cash in on Liv? It might be a little too close to the whole, is Tiffany going to cash in on Nia stuff? But at least it's not like,
a little too close.
It's at least it's not like they're friends like Nia and Tiffany were, but it's still kind of similar because they're like within the same group-ish kind of I don't know. I'm not a fan of Roxanne being with the group, but if it could lead to Roxanne winning the title, sure.
Yeah, but that kind of copies the whole Tiffany and Nia thing, though.
A little bit. So Karrion Kross then approaches Sami Zayn in the back as he was being checked on. Zayn said, Sami, you're a liar. And that's a big problem. You lie to the fans and you lie to yourself. Could have been a world champion 10 times over by now if you would just own up to who you really are. Kross knew Zayn was capable of doing bad things because he was a bad guy, just like the rest of us. Zayn said, that's where you're wrong. And Kross said, yeah, I might be wrong, but I might be right too. So it's like if you read between the lines, he thinks Sami has some bad tendencies in him. Also, Karrion Kross walked into frame, huge pop from the crowd. Huge pop. Crowd loves Karrion Kross.
I'm really interested to see what WWE actually does with him, with his popularity with the crowd.
Right.
Because at least this is my thinking. So I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying push him. And I also seen some people say, like, WWE's not going to push him. He's 40 years old and he's not that good in the ring.
Yeah, but he's a great on-screen character. Like, great on-screen character.
Oh, yeah. His in-ring work it's okay, but it could be better.
Exactly.
But I do feel like he's also in a contract year. That's something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So WWE's, they're not going to go all in on him if his contract's set to expire.
That's all I'm going to say is yes. I don't want to say too much more on that.
But I could also, I kind of do hope they re-sign him, but I could also see them just letting him go since his contract is almost up at the end of the year.
Let's see, when is it end of the year?
It's end of 2025, I think.
I could tell you. Let's see. His contract is up. Do I have that on? Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm not seeing contracts. Karrion Kross summer. His contract's up soon. Like within the next couple of months.
Yep.
Which actually, guys, it is June. It's been about 2 months since we did our last one. So we will be doing this week an updated contract info video and an injury info video because I do those every 2 to 3 months. It's about time I do an updated one. So that should be coming out this week as well. But during the break, we got a Julia video, same one we saw on SmackDown, hyping her up. Kathy Kelly then interviewed Perez during the break. Perez said that Balor knew she was already one of the most dangerous competitors in all of WWE at just the age of 23. She wasn't just here to assist the New Day, but she's here to take over the entire women's division, and that starts by winning Money in the Bank. And then ran down the card for Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, and Michael Cole struggled to the point where he was even struggling during the Money in the Bank matches. Like he would be trying to, like they would be showing like, so during the ones for Worlds Collide, they would show, instead of just showing like the images of all the wrestlers at first, they would show videos of everybody. So like he was trying to read the names of everybody, and then WWE would change it to somebody else, or then change it to all the names. So then he'd be like, wait, I was trying to read, like you could tell he's thinking, oh crap, I was trying to read that name. I don't know who that actually is. Have they said who the commentary is? I assume it's Booker, Vic, and Corey for English. Yeah.
Probably.
I assume it's the NXT commentary for English, and then whoever does AAA for the Spanish. Remember, free on YouTube, both in English and Spanish.
It's free on YouTube?
Yes, that's what they've been pushing. Worlds Collide on YouTube in English and Spanish. Let me see. Do they have it listed on their upcoming YouTube live streams yet? But it's not. I don't see it on Peacock. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see my work schedule real quick and see if I actually work Sunday.
Well, Saturday. Worlds Collide. Yes, right here.
It's Saturday.
Worlds Collide at 2 p.m. Central on YouTube. And then,
I do not work Saturday.
And then when that show ends, you go to Peacock and YouTube, because there'll be a 90-minute pre-show for Money in the Bank, and then Money in the Bank afterwards. We got Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. So my plan is to do a Money in the Bank review, but at the beginning, do a quick, 15, 20 minutes on Worlds Collide. So I will watch everything. I will watch it all. I don't think I'm going to do a full Worlds Collide review, but I'll go 20 minutes on my thoughts of Worlds Collide, and especially if there's any news coming out of that show. So you guys will get my thoughts on Worlds Collide, and then, of course, a full Money in the Bank review all that night. So it'll be kind of like a dual little review. Also, if anyone hasn't seen the Cora Jade, Elena Black interview today on Haria Hawani show, highly recommend it. Go check that out. It's about an hour and 5 minutes. So, actually,
I watched it, but I saw a clip of like her talking about her release.
Yes. So she talks about a lot of things. Her release, how she started in wrestling, what she's doing next. And yeah, she talked about a lot of things. She talked about when she needed time off because she basically had an atopic pregnancy people didn't know about. And so they thought she was injured when she was gone for like a couple months. And then she got her boobs done. And so she was gone for another month for that. And yeah, she's like, people call me injury prone, but I was really only injured once. There's other things that kept me away, but injuries only happened once.
Well, I just know when she had that ACL injury, she did not look the same.
No.
So maybe I don't want to predict what led to her release, but maybe that was it.
Oh no, she said that when she came back in November, she just had a feeling of they're gonna fire me eventually. Like she said she knew it. She's like, I knew it when I came back in November that I was gonna get fired eventually. It's like, I don't know what it was, but something was just like, I'm not long for this company. But she said that she would love to come back. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she would. She's right now, I feel like she's probably gonna be used as like, or at least right now, she'll probably just be like working those high indie shows like GCW.
Oh, she's got indie bookings for the next like 3 months. Like every weekend. She also said,
honestly,
Ariel Hawani asked her, he said, so you gonna go work, would you go work TNA? She goes, not right now. I think it'd be too hard for me to do that with them as close to WWE as they are. Because I want to kind of distance myself from WWE right now, and TNA works too closely with them.
I can also see her maybe working Ring of Honor if AEW signs her for Ring of Honor, which I
can see that for sure. I can see that.
But I mean, I feel like she'd do great in Ring of Honor, but I just don't want her whole thing of her going to AEW just to work Ring of Honor.
Well, if now here's the thing that would be cool. They don't sign her, but they just use her for certain Ring of Honor tapings here and there. Don't sign her. Let her still work the indies and do whatever she's going to do. She basically said her goal is to get back on television. So,
yeah.
Oh, here's a question for you from Nicholas Swint with a super chat. Josh Allen or Justin Herbert?
Is this for me or both of us?
It doesn't answer anyone specifically.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's too easy. Josh Allen. Man got married this past weekend. So, but yeah, no, go watch that Elena Black, Cora Jade interview. I thought it was really good. She literally flew to New York to do the interview and then flew back home right after. And then Ariel Helwani's like, wait, you flew in just for this and then right back out? She goes, well, yeah, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. He's like, oh, could have just done it from home. But yeah, no.
Well, did you see Shauna Ross Sapp's tweet of like the upcoming free agents for this week or by the end of next week?
Well, yeah, she was free as of yesterday. And so all the NXT people that were released at the same time as her, free as of yesterday.
Like Aura Mensa, Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne.
Well, because Ariel Helwani asked her, he's like, hey, you talked to the AEW yet? And she goes, well, my 30 days were up yesterday, so I legally couldn't till now. So if they want to call me, they can call me. But she hasn't had any talks with AEW yet because literally she couldn't as of till yesterday. But no, very, very good interview. She said that she go for it.
Sorry, no, you go for it.
Oh no. So she was asked the one other thing I wanted to bring up. Ariel Helwani's like, so you get released and stuff. Did they tell you why? She goes, well, I asked. And I said, is it budget cuts? And they just told me, no, it was a company decision. So she said she was also told when she first started in WWE, you're too small. You'll never be a champion because you look like someone that can't even crack an egg. They thought she was.
I did hear stories during that time that there was a lot of body shaming going on.
She talked about that as well. Yeah.
Because
but then there's also
during that time.
But then there's also been a rumor that like her and Roxanne were known for making fun of the way girls looked in the locker room. So I don't know if what's true and what's not.
There was that rumor of like so I don't know who I can't remember the name of this person, but there was someone who was like under a developmental deal, and like she was pretty famous on TikTok. She doesn't do wrestling anymore, but she would always post a lot of like TikToks of her backstage in NXT. And then once she left WWE, somebody was tweeting about her, and then Cora J was like, "It's like sorry, she no longer works with WWE."
You talk about.
And then Roxanne said,
"You talk about." Go for it, and I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Then Roxanne responded, "Finally, something we can agree on."
You talk about Alexis Letty, or Lete, or however you say it, Lete.
Yep.
Yeah. That game got brought up today in comment sections when people were talking about body shaming. So, yeah.
That really wasn't body shaming. I think maybe they just didn't like her just using WWE for clout.
Well, no, she talked about how she had said once before since she got released from WWE, and I wouldn't even know if I would call it released. She just didn't work out in WWE, but she said that she was bullied. So,
Alexis Letty?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
She had mentioned something about bullying in the locker room or something. But she also said something one time about WWE was helping her get some sort of like a reality show. I don't know exactly what that was all about, but she said something about a reality show at WWE.
I know she was on Deal or No Deal Island.
Oh, was she? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like she was one of the briefcase holders for Deal or No Deal Island.
I never watched that. Like I was always like, I should watch this. But then like every time I see a commercial, I'm like, this just looks too over the top and outrageous. I probably wouldn't get into it.
It looks too scripted.
Oh yeah, that too. Anyways, as we come down to the end of this show, Jey Uso is in the locker room. He's sitting there, kind of decompressing after his match. And Gunther walks up and goes, "Hey, I'm not here to fight or anything. Let's just have a little civil conversation." And I'm like, oh, this could be very interesting. I actually like this, the way they set this all up, where Gunther walks in, wants to be civil, and then he goes in on Jay, but not in a bad way. Gunther's just like, hey, you're the world champion, and I appreciate everything you've done to try to keep my title relevant and important. He's like, I really appreciate it. He's like, you put in the effort to try and be a great champion. But because you refuse to think with your head instead of your heart, that's why I need to take the title back. You're too selfless. You don't think about the championship. You want to go out there and help other people. The world champion doesn't need to get involved in other people's stuff. The world champion only needs to think about themselves in the championship. He said he might help Punk. He said, you might go help Punk win tonight. You're going to team with Cody Rhodes on Saturday, and that's not what the champion needs to be involved in. The champion needs to be involved in top things in this business and worry about their title, not about other people's business. And I'm like, Gunther isn't wrong. Why does the champion need to be involved in all the other people's bullshit? Gunther then thanked him because he knew the moment he lost at Mania, he would avenge it. In 1 week, Jay's party is over. But then Jay responded with, quote, 3 letters, 1 word, tap. See you next week, G. So I thought this was a great backstage segment to hype up the title match next week on Raw in Phoenix. What'd you think of it?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you need one more, at least like one last thing to hype up this match, because I feel like for a while I kind of forgot about it.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Before they did this segment, I forgot that match was next week.
I honestly kind of forgot about Gunther for a little bit. Ever since they finished up the him and Pat McAfee stuff, I kind of forgot about him.
I can see that.
Like, do you feel? I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with him now that he's no longer the world champion. Like, what are they gonna do with Gunther?
Here's my question: do you think he beats Jay for the title next week?
No, he's not.
No.
And
what do you do with Gunther? That is a big question. We don't have King of the Ring, so it's not like he can go back to back and win King of the Ring again. At least we don't that we know of.
No, because like ever since Triple H took over head of creative, Gunther was always either the Intercontinental Champion or fighting for the world title.
Well, he won that IC title under Vince.
Yeah, but like,
well, here's the thing.
Triple H didn't have to do much. Triple H didn't really have to do much with him because he was already the champion.
So the line that Gunther says of 80% of my time in this company has been a champion. That's a legit statistic.
Yeah.
80% of his time in WWE, whether that was NXT, NXT UK, or the main roster, has been spent as a champion, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also crazy to think that he's in WWE after so many years stating that he would never move to the United States. WWE,
that's why
WWE wanted him for a while, and he was just like, if I got to move full time, I won't do it. And when they told him you don't got to for NXT UK, that's how they got him. If it wasn't for NXT UK, I don't think they'd have him, or at least they wouldn't have had him when they got him.
True. But I'm honestly kind of curious how they got him actually moved to the United States, because I guess they told him like NXT UK is about to be done.
I think it was the promise of you're going to be champion a lot. When they had that title on for over 800 days, I mean, it's that you see right there. Well, this company sees something in me. Maybe I do need to sacrifice what I don't want to sacrifice. So, I don't know. So we got our main event, Money in the Bank qualifying match. CM Punk, AJ Styles, and El Grande Americano. Punk wore a pink and black. I don't know if he was trying to rep Bret Hart. I think he had a Bret Hart something on, or like hoodie on earlier. But Punk and Styles told the referee, check El Grande Americano, because they know he's probably got that metal plate on him. McAfee noted, hey, he should be checking all the guys. They could all be cheating. And then we did the thing throughout this match. Michael Cole, hey, if Grande Americano wins, it means he's got to work 2 matches because Chad Gable's challenging for the title. And you got Pat going, they're different people, Cole. They're not the same person. No. It got a little old. Anyways, Punk and Styles did team up early on against Americano and tossed him from the ring. Styles then dropped Punk. Oops, sorry about that. Punched the microphone. Styles then dropped Punk with the drop kick. But Americano got right back in and dropped Styles with the running headbutt. Americano imposed for the crowd, so Punk hit him with a running knee. The crowd then cheered for Punk as he tried to remove Americano's mask, but Americano fought out of it and hit a dive. He went to a commercial break a couple of minutes into this, and Americano had control throughout the entire thing, mostly working over Punk's leg. As we come back from the break, Styles gave Americano a backdrop off the middle rope, and Punk followed with a diving elbow drop on Styles. Americano then gave Punk a running headbutt before turning Styles around with a released German suplex. The crowd then started chanting. There was a dueling chant here. He's Chad Gable. No, he's not. He's Chad Gable. No, he's not. I loved it. I thought that was freaking great. Like this,
I thought it was funny on commentary. Michael Cole keeps saying, like, yeah, Chad Gable with the dive, and Pat goes, that's You mean El Grande Americano with the dive?
It was good for like half the match. Then they did it a little too many times and it got a little old. But this El Grande Americano thing, like, I don't feel like it's for long, but it might stick around longer than I'm expecting because it's getting over. Like, it's legit getting over.
Yeah.
So Americano tried a flying crossbody, but Punk tried rolling through like John Cena. Punk isn't as strong as John Cena. And then he sold the leg and dropped him. So it wasn't exactly so smooth. Punk did get him up on his shoulders, but Styles dropped both guys with a DDT. Americano then put Punk in the ankle lock. But Punk rolled through, and Americano's momentum sent him into a Styles clash by AJ Styles. Punk then broke up the cover. Cool little sequence here. Chance for R-Truth. A little bit. You hear like 4 people saying it, and then we got a "This is awesome" chant. Punk got Styles in a jackknife cover. Styles bridged out of it. Americano hit both men with a moonsault. Punk then hit Americano with a GTS, but Braun Breaker, that is, would run down and pull him out of the ring. Reed and Breaker then beat up Punk until Jay and Sammy ran down to make the save. Everyone was brawling. AJ then wiped them all out with a big springboard dive. Crowd starts chanting, "Holy shit." Styles then went for the phenomenal forearm in the ring, but as he dove off that top rope, boom, headbutt from Americano, and he pinned him to pick up the victory. We didn't see him load the mask, but we assume he loaded the mask. And yeah, Grande Americano is officially qualified for Money in the Bank. And I thought it was, I mean, Braun Breaker and them coming out and screwing Punk was expected, but But for the most part, I liked the match. I thought it was a really good match. What do you think?
It was fun, yeah, but yeah, I pretty much already knew. Once they announced El Grande Americano, I was like, yeah, he's winning.
Right. Especially with Penta in the match. And I'm like, oh, it's perfect. They can build more up with this El Grande Americano Penta thing. I could see that being now that it's not at Worlds Collide, because I thought it might be, I could see this being a big SummerSlam match. You build it up throughout the summer where they have slight little meetings here and there and things here and there. And then the big blow off could be at SummerSlam.
But also, like, looking at this men's Money in the Bank match, looking at everybody, I feel like they're making it way too obvious that Seth's going to win.
You think it's
Because there's really no way else that I view that's like, oh, this person could win or this person can win. No, I feel like they're just making it way too obvious that Seth's going to win.
You know, looking at it, it's like you got Solo. Doubt it. You got Penta.
So, no. Unless they had, like, JC Mateo, like, help him. But Solo's not going to successfully cash in.
Or maybe they need a fail, and so you go Solo.
No, you already had Drew McIntyre fail last year. Don't do back-to-back fails.
I mean, when is these women going to fail? It's 100% so far on the women. You think Naomi wins it?
Unless they had Roxanne win and they had Liv Morgan screw her over.
Or Naomi wins it and fails.
Yeah.
But, like I said, we have in the men's Money in the Bank qualifier, we have Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Andrade, Penta, Seth Rollins, and Grande Americano. On the women's side, it is Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vicure. Why did my thing just freeze? Reload. Alexa Bliss, Julia, and Naomi. So, Alexa, stop. Always, I say freaking Bliss's name and my echo goes off. Anyways, there's post-match beatdown here as well. I forgot to talk about this. Rollins runs down to attack Punk. They brawl until Breaker spears Punk. Zayn then attacks Breaker, but the heel swarmed him and Rollins put him down with a stomp. Rollins then stomped Punk too, and Jay super kicked Reed. Breaker speared him, and Rollins stomped him. Reed then flattened Jay with consecutive tsunamis. So, Reed in line for a title shot? Taking out the champion. Does Jay beat Gunther and then Bronson Reed get a shot? Just saying. Hit him with multiple tsunamis. I don't know. I felt like
no.
Once Gunther said the thing of you're doing too much and you're getting involved in too many other people's stuff, I'm like, you know what? He's not wrong. And it's making Jay just look like a guy instead of the champion. You know what I mean? Him being, Jay being involved in too many different things, helping Cody, helping Sammy, helping Seth, not Seth, Punk. It's like maybe he is doing too much and he just seems like a guy on the roster, not the world champion. Like, he is getting world champion reactions, and I think he fits with that title well. But then at the same time, you see him over here just doing random ass shit that the champion really probably shouldn't be doing. So, I don't know. I just feel like he's the champion, so the focus should be on him and the title, which it's been for the most part, but it's not always like with others. So,
Yeah, I get that.
we'll see. But overall, I thought Raw was a pretty dang good show. What did you think overall?
Sorry, there's trains going off right now.
Oh, no, I just said, what was your overall final opinions on Raw?
But yeah, Raw, pretty easy to watch. I thought it was a good show.
Yep.
They did a good job of like building stuff up for like the final go home of Raw for Money in the Bank. So overall, I thought they did a decent job.
100%. So with that, you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys as we wrap everything up. Looking at the threads poll, 58% liked the show, 26% thought it was just all right, and 16% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 48% liked the show, 33% thought it was just all right, and 18% didn't like it. Looking at the live poll, the live poll, 71% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. As far as the community poll did go, 74% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 10% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at PetGamer_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you back here Wednesday for the goddamn 4-hour AEW Dynamite.
I gotta work during that, so I will not be watching.
It's Fyter Fest. We'll see how this goddamn show goes. Like, I'm not opposed to a 4-hour wrestling show, but it's a 4-hour wrestling show with commercials. That's the thing. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays out. Apparently, it ain't the only one coming up this year for AEW. We'll see you on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Have a good one, guys.